We all know about LGBTQ history, but what's our relationship to Black LGBTQ history specifically? Welcome to this brief history lesson that will take us on a journey of discovery and empowerment. I'm going to start this lesson with two assertions. First, Black LGBTQ folks have always been here. And second, our contributions and impact can be felt to this day. But in order to comprehend how we got here, we need to understand some historical perspective. Oh, no, colonizer, not today. Today, we're going to be starting with our narrative.
A common fallacious misconception is that same-gender love is un-African, is un-Black, is the white man's dis-ease. However, there are numerous examples of pre-colonial same-sex couplings. Ancient cave paintings of the San people near Garuve, Zimbabwe, depict two men engaged in a form of ritual sex. A Madoko Dako, also known as Madoko Daka or Danomoloker, is an effeminate male who is considered by Langi society to be a different gender. Uganda, one of the largest traditional kingdoms, had an openly gay ruler, King Kabaka Mwanga II, who ruled in the latter half of the 19th century. There is even pre-colonial vocabulary that describes same-sex relations. Inkochan is male wife among the Shangaan of Southern Africa. Motsoale, or special friend, for Basotho women in present-day Lesotho, and Gordijan, men-women, for homosexual in the Wolof language in Senegal. Clearly, same-sex love is not un-African. Placing sanctions and laws restricting its expression is. In comes Europe, where the prevailing thoughts of the 19th century even further divided. European journalists, psychologists, and sexologists theorized wildly divergent ideas about queer identity. Between Darwin's assertion that all non-procreative sex, including masturbation, were forms of psychopathology, and Freud, who said that everyone is bisexual by nature, there was no consensus regarding fluid sexual behavior in society among respected Western scholars. Meanwhile, in America, physician Samuel Cartwright invented drapetomania, the conjectural mental illness that would cause enslaved Africans to want to flee. The official view was that slave life was so pleasant, only the mentally ill would want to run away. Now, these divergent ideas are some of the ones that informed this book right here, the DSM. Now, progress is real, and ideas about queerness have evolved. In 1952, homosexuality was classified as a mental disorder in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, the DSM, the guiding instrument of mental health care published by the American Psychiatric Association. This classification was challenged by gay rights activists across 2 decades until the APA finally declassified homosexuality in 1973. Today, BIPOC therapists, or therapists of color, are leading the charge for culturally competent care. We are destigmatizing mental health care because it supports, empowers, and helps us evolve. Meanwhile, in Black America, we were embracing a very different story of ourselves. William Dorsey Swann, born into slavery in 1858, was the self-proclaimed queen of drag. While there are no known pictures of him, there is a newspaper clipping that reported one of his drag parties raided, documenting our fabulous presence in the United States as early as 1888. Ma Rainey, born Gertrude Melissa Nix Pridgett, the undisputed mother of the blues, openly bisexual, signed her first contract with Paramount Records in 1923, paving the way for women musicians everywhere. Author James Baldwin was one of the most provocative and passionate writers about race in America, and formed alliances in Europe that expanded the global conversation on race. Now, we all know about the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom in 1963, where Dr. King delivered his famous I Have a Dream speech. At 250,000 attendees, this was one of the largest political rallies for human rights in American history. Fewer people know that Bayard Rustin, an openly gay man, was the main organizer of this event, and he was asked to step back from leadership because of his openness about his sexual orientation. Octavia Butler, world-renowned science fiction writer of the novels The Fledgling, Kindred, Parable of the Sower, Parable of the Talents, and more. The seer, the mother of speculative fiction. Her entire collection has forced us to take a clear look at civilization, acknowledging the climate crisis and institutionalized racism, while giving us a chance to envision a future centralizing the strength of Black gender-variant characters.
The Stonewall Uprising in 1969, Greenwich Village, New York. Commonly seen as the beginning of the contemporary struggle against homophobia, heterosexism, and police brutality. For many Americans who knew anything about the Stonewall Uprising, it looked like this.
Or this. With images of people of color cast as sidekicks and trans folk providing inspiration but having little to no bite. The truth is this. The Stonewall Uprising was started by two trans women of color, our very own Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, both prominent gay rights and trans rights activists, showing us once more that even when they try to keep us out of the narrative, our impact cannot be denied and reverberates throughout the community and across generations. Black members of the LGBTQ community have always been impactful in subtle ways, not so subtle ways, groundbreaking ways, and truth be told, always.
As ancestors paved the way for us, we are the ancestors of tomorrow, paving the way for our children to be the best versions of themselves. What kind of ancestor do you want to be?